Hi guys, welcome to my video. As you've probably guessed from the title, it is what I didn't tell you about traveling. So I wanted to do a video to show all the down points of going traveling. Obviously there are a lot of good sides and you see all the good sides on Instagram and in videos, and I try and make my vlogs realistic, so you know, I moaned a little bit about getting ill and things like that, but I just wanted to make this video to make it fully realistic, so if you're going traveling you know what to expect. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Money. So this is the first kind of big issue, which is that traveling is expensive. I mean, obviously you can do it on a budget, you can stay in hostels, you can travel just parts like Asia, places that are kind of better value for money. We've got really good value accommodation in places like Bali. Traveling Australia and New Zealand, which we did at the beginning, is very expensive. It's kind of like London prices in Sydney. Expect to pay a lot for food and drink and accommodation. The same with places like Singapore. You need to save and then go traveling, or you need to travel a bit, work, travel a bit. So yeah, be prepared to spend a lot of money. We had the mentality that while we're here, we don't really want to scrimp and save. We wanted to make the most of it. You know, what's an extra X amount to do the skydive from the highest point if we're already doing it? Do you know what I mean? So just be prepared to spend a little bit more and fully enjoy yourself. This brings me on to my next topic, which is jabs or vaccinations. These are also very, very expensive, especially if you have the rabies jab, the ones that aren't on the NHS you have to pay for. Everyone has kind of a different opinion on it. I just wanted to get vaccinated on everything just to be on the safe side because we were away for 4 months. I went privately and got the rabies jab, Hepe I think, and Japanese encephalitis. Is that how you say it? I hope so. I've got the little booklet that has a record of it, so I would really recommend taking this with you. If you do end up, I don't know, getting bitten by a dog, or you know, cutting yourself and it gets infected and you need to go to hospital, whatever, it's good to have this so that the doctors then know exactly what you've been treated with. So yeah, definitely be prepared to spend money on jabs as well. I think it is worth the cost. Again, if you're saving up and paying for a big trip, it's kind of worth investing that little bit more just to make sure you can fully enjoy it and not worry about things. Definitely get vaccinated. Illness. Now, this is a big one because expect to get pretty ill while you're away just because you're not used to the food, the water. Obviously don't drink tap water in certain places. I had really bad food poisoning in the Philippines. It's so difficult to know what causes what. Just eat safely and smartly, which probably consists of beige food. So if you're feeling already a bit ill, your tummy's a bit dodgy, don't go buying salads and smoothies and, you know, having all this health stuff, because they sometimes wash the salad in water, things like that. Just eat safe things and stick to the basics, basically. Expect to get ill. I spent many a day sat on the toilet or with my head in the toilet. Like I said, it's in the Philippines, which only lasted 1 or 2 days. And I had really bad barley belly on the Gili Islands, which lasted quite a while, so that wasn't fun. So just be prepared that it's not going to be rainbows and butterflies every single day. By the way, I'm really sorry about the lighting. I do not have artificial lighting, I'm just using natural light and the sun is making it very difficult. This one also comes hand in hand with illness, and that is being tired. I know, you know, oh, poor travel girl, but traveling is tiring, guys. It's really tiring. It can zap all your energy. You feel like you want to see absolutely everything, fit 101 things into the day, and you just end up feeling exhausted and you need a holiday to recover from the traveling. So just make sure you schedule in rest days. This is super important. When we were planning our holiday, we made sure that we scheduled in rest days, also in case anything goes wrong and you need to redo something, like we have with the skydive. If it's not good enough weather, you have to do it another day. So allow some leeway, but also allow days for you to just do nothing, to rest. Because some days you might just want to lie on a beach, others you might just want to be in the hotel room, you know, watching YouTube videos to catch up on because you feel homesick, or chatting to friends, or reading a book, literally just lying there doing nothing. You need those days sometimes when you're at home, so you're going to need those days when you're traveling. If you're away for a few months, definitely get rest days, else you're going to get ill. Next one is actually the travel part. So the travel part of traveling is a con. So obviously it's all amazing, but when you're on a night bus in Australia, which is like 12 hours long, you might want to kill yourself. We had some bad experiences, just, you know, lack of sleep, planes, long plane journeys, trains, long taxi journeys. We had a 12-hour taxi drive in Java in Indonesia. Obviously we chose to do that, like, I know that we planned it, but that is the downside. If you want to see something on the other side of the island or whatever, it's going to be a lot of traveling. So just remember, there will be days that are not fun. You don't get to do much. You'll just be sat in a car all day, sat on a plane, sat on a train, and you know, if you get travel sick, definitely take tablets. I actually got really travel sick from the car, boats, everything, so just be prepared. That is the moral of this whole video, is be prepared. Fraud. Now, unfortunately, this is something that we experienced in Bali. We used a cash point near a temple near Ubud, and we weren't really thinking. My boyfriend just got his cash out, didn't really think about covering it or anything, and it was actually one of those, now we think back, that didn't have a cover over the pin. So there must have been a camera on the machine or on the ceiling or whatever, and straight away someone withdrew £300 by cloning our card. We were using a Revolut card, which is really good if you're going away, by the way, so check that out. So luckily it linked to the app, so he was getting notifications that people were getting money out, and you could see that this person was going around different cash points trying to get cash out, and it was being declined. I think because it obviously sussed that something was wrong, so it was blocking the card anyway. But this person would not stop trying. They even tried later on the evening, the next morning. So that was pretty stressful because that was the main card that we were using, and we'd lost £300. Luckily, they have very good customer service, and we managed to get the money back through a fraud claim. It took quite a while, so don't expect to get it back straight away. Definitely something to think about. Make sure you have your bank account, and then make sure you have other ways of getting money out. Just beware, and always, I always take the mick out of my mum for doing this, because I'm like, you're such a worrier, it's fine. Always cover your PIN, especially when you're away in touristy places, because you never know what people are like, and there are bad people everywhere. Don't let that put you off Bali. It happens everywhere, just be vigilant. This is a very important one. Living out of a bag. Living out of a bag is very tough. It's not like having a wardrobe or a walk-in closet, it is literally living out of a rucksack. So all your clothes, all your toiletries, all your bits and bobs are mashed together. But I have these, which will save the day. Make sure you buy some packing cubes. These ones are from eBags. eBags? Yeah, eBags. And they are an absolute lifesaver. You can get them in different sizes, and it just meant we could organise all our stuff. So I had like a packing cube for like my warmer clothes that we needed in New Zealand and for mountain treks. I had one for bikinis, one for underwear, one for bottoms, one for tops, and it just made everything so much easier. It was an absolute lifesaver. So if you struggle with living out of a bag, then maybe travelling isn't for you. You'll get so sick of unpacking and then 2 days later repacking. It was a bit of a nightmare, but packing cubes do make it so much easier, and just be organised and you'll be fine. No electricity. Now this won't be too much of a problem if you're in really touristy places, but we found this problem in the Philippines. No lights, no aircon, also very limited signal and Wi-Fi. We particularly experienced this in El Nido and Coron, the lack of signal and Wi-Fi, and also not having hot water. So having very, very cold showers, especially in rainy season when it's like raining outside, you kind of do want a warm shower even though it's not that cold, and then you've just basically got a freezing cold dribble of water. And also on Apo Island, which only has electricity between certain times, and there was like no signal or Wi-Fi there obviously. Just do your research, know where has electricity, where doesn't. It can get really hot if you don't have aircon, and places like we went to Fraser Island in Australia, which was incredible, but obviously there's not really anything there in terms of electricity, Wi-Fi signal. So yeah, that is one thing that if you are a phone lover, you're gonna have to live without for a little while. This one is for all the gym, health and fitness lovers. Having no gym, you can usually find one. The world is your gym, room workouts, outdoor workouts. At the end of the day, you're traveling to enjoy everything, to enjoy as much as possible. So I completely understand and lived through it, that you don't want to be spending your time in a gym or even getting up half an hour early to do a HIIT workout. Obviously, if you enjoy exercising and working out, then that's great, fit it in. We did loads of active things like trekking, so keeping active wasn't really a problem. However, I did miss the gym. It's not always accessible, and you don't always have the time, like I said. So just expect to lose muscle, which is definitely something I experienced, and I promise, do a video about how I maintain my body and physique and whatever during holiday. Of course, I didn't completely maintain it. I've lost a lot of muscle. But yeah, just be prepared if you're a gym lover to miss out on the gym a bit, and accept it. It's totally fine. You can always grow your muscles back. And the same with just not having all the foods you want all the time. The language barrier. Now this wasn't a huge one. Obviously Australia and New Zealand, English speaking. Most places the people speak really good English. The Philippines, for example, their second language is English. They nearly all speak it. The main issue we had was actually in both Lombok and Java in Indonesia. So they're not nearly as touristy as Bali. The locals tend to not speak very good English. The language barrier really wasn't much of a problem. It's more when you want to express something. Like we had this moment where there was this stray dog watching us eat our dinner. We were like the only people in this restaurant. And it was really sad because the dog looked really injured. I was actually quite scared just because when there is quite a like rough injured dog staring at you, you are a bit like, oh my god, it's gonna kill me. He was absolutely harmless. He was obviously just starving. He was so malnourished, so skinny, and I had loads of food left on my plate, and I could have easily just put it down and given it to him, but Sam quite rightly was like, you should check with the hotel because you don't want to encourage this sort of behaviour. They might not want the dog coming back, you know, every day or whatever. So I went and spoke to the man and was like, we finished our food, I've got some left over, is it okay if I feed the dog, or would you rather we didn't? Obviously he didn't really speak very good English and had no idea what I was saying, so he just took it as we didn't like the fact that the dog was there watching us eat. So then it was so horrible, so then he just ran up to the dog and like scared him away, and it was just, oh, it was horrible because this dog was injured and he like was obviously scared of the man, and he tried to jump over this wall and like really struggling because he had like a limp in his leg, and then he just like fell over the other side of the wall, and oh my gosh, I think my heart broke a little bit. I felt so bad. I was like, I should have just given him the food. So there's a story where the language barrier can be a little bit of a problem, but most of the time it's okay. But obviously that is another huge issue in Asia, is stray dogs and cats. If you're an animal lover, you will find it really hard. Well, anyone would find it really hard because it is horrible, but you kind of just have to accept that that is how it is. There will be dead dogs and cats on the side of the road, but you've got to just have a bit of a strong stomach and just get on with it and try not to get too upset. I think the worst thing was when I saw a kitten that was very, very skinny, and he was sitting there, and then I got the shock of my life because one of its arms was just hanging off, like half of it was missing, and it was just hanging there, and oh, I just wanted to cry. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this. I guess this is a bit of an obvious one, but homesick. So definitely it got to maybe 2-3 months in, I started to feel a little bit homesick, and just like anywhere, even if you're away for a week, if you're having a particularly bad day away from family and friends, like you feel really ill or you're just in a really bad mood, it's that time of the month, you do just feel more homesick as well, which is a given. I think if we were to go traveling in the future, we would do maybe 2 to 3 months rather than 4 months, just because we just started to feel, well, I started to feel particularly homesick towards the end, and also you start not to appreciate it as much, which is also a problem. I know it sounds really ungrateful, but I remember being particularly moody on the plane to Singapore, and I just had to slap myself and say, like, just imagine that you were coming from England, how excited you'd be to go on holiday. Like, you're so excited when you go on holiday. So I think that you lose that a bit, which is sad. So I guess you just have to have the mindset that treats every single day or every new part when you move on as a brand new holiday, and try not to think about it as just normal life, because you know, you're so lucky to be away and you've just got to enjoy every moment. Safety. Now this is a big topic, I guess. The main thing is to just be observant, I think, and you've just got to be aware of everything that could happen, be aware of your surroundings. If you're smart about it, there should be next to no problems. I remember we were particularly scared of going to Cebu in the Philippines because on the government website it said only essential travel, so that kind of put us off, and we were really worried about all these kidnappings of foreigners and stuff. But you've just got to be smart. Just make sure you book things through your hotel or accommodation, organise things in advance. We're not the type who would just walk down the road and hail down a car. Like, it is definitely worth booking things in advance and, you know, doing your research, because you don't want to be put in a difficult situation, especially if you're traveling on your own. I did see some girls traveling in the Philippines on their own, hats off to you. But also safety in terms of things like motorbikes, climbing mountains, anything like that. Like, we had such a stupid motorbike accident. All we did was graze and cut ourselves. It really wasn't that bad. But I know so many people who've had very severe accidents on motorbikes when they're away. Just be sensible. You know, would you do that at home? Probably not. Just make sure you wear your helmet, make sure you get advice from the place that you're staying. They're usually super helpful and will recommend a good place to rent bikes from. But seriously, there's not much to worry about these days. It is less safe to get on a tube in London than it is to travel certain places that I've been. It's not worth losing sleep over, but just make sure you are a smart traveller. And the last one, which is a very big one, is traveling will unfortunately just make you want to travel more. It will change your perspective, it will change you a little bit, and you'll just want to do it all over again. There'll always be more places that you want to see. I've got a very long list of places I want to go to, things I want to do, and it kind of just makes you not want to settle down. When you're younger, you have this plan, or when I'm 24 I'm going to do this, and when I'm 28 I'm going to have kids, and then you go traveling, you're like, actually I'd rather spend my money on traveling. I don't want to get married, I'd rather pay to do this again. So just be prepared to change a little bit, your perspective to change, to grow as a person, and to never want to come back home. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that it's opened your eyes to some things you maybe didn't know about or didn't think about. Obviously there are 101 good things about traveling. Maybe I'll do a video on that, let me know if you want to see it. But I just wanted to highlight to you the things that aren't so good about traveling, just so you have the whole picture. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I will be doing some more travel related videos. I've got all my previous travel vlogs that you can look at for places like the Philippines, New Zealand, Bali, Malaysia, Fiji, everywhere, so go check those out if you're interested in travel. I also do lots of workout videos, so if you're into health and fitness, then be sure to subscribe. Please feel free to leave me a comment below if you've got any questions, anything you'd like clarification on, any future video suggestions. If you're going traveling, then safe travels, and I will see you in the next one. Just need to look at my notes. Through fraud claims,